Darkseeker in the house! Dude, okay, everybody. If you don't know who Darkseeker Hearthstone is, go to his channel and subscribe. He's got the sexiest goddamn voice in all of Hearthstone. Like, just listening to his words will make you just like melt like butter. If you haven't already, go sub to Darkseeker Hearthstone's channel. He's great.
Hello everyone, it's Darkseeker here again. Welcome back for another video. We're back on Wild Mode and we're going to be playing Reno Hunter. But before we get into that, the opening clip that you saw was from a streamer called Earwinfirwat. And I'd like to thank him for the compliment about my voice. I think he'd said previously that listening to me was like listening to David Attenborough narrating a nature documentary on the BBC. And strangely, I get that compliment a lot, so it was always an honour to receive compliments like that. And, you know, Earwinfirwat, your voice is pretty awesome too. Ladies and gentlemen, please check out his YouTube channel. He does live streams, he's a fantastic player, he's an awesome streamer, he's very engaging to watch. He interacts with his chat a lot. You know, if you type something, if you ask a question, if you leave a comment, he will respond. So very interactive. And his YouTube channel's got some really cool content. It's worth subscribing to and certainly worth checking out his streams. A very informative player. So I'll put a link to his YouTube channel in the video description. So today it's all about Reno Hunter, and you guys have been requesting this for a long time. You've been sending me message after message, play Reno Hunter. So here it is, Reno Hunter with N'Zoth the Corruptor. So, how does the deck work? Well, it's centered around Reno. Against aggro, you want Reno for your healing. Other than that, it's sort of like a tempo orientated deck. You want to curve out well, basically, a 1 into a 2 into a 3, pretty much as you'd play mid-range Hunter, I guess. But the difference between this deck and previous mid-range Hunters that you may have played is that the late game in this deck is insane. You have Death Rattle minions like Sylvanas, Feugen, Stalagg to get Thaddius value. Deathstalker Rexar adds another late game element to Hunter because you can start making those zombie beasts, which gives you this unlimited value in the late game of this endless supply of beasts, of buffed up, souped up beasts that, you know, that threaten your opponent. So yeah, so in the early game it plays out like what you'd normally expect from Hunter, 1 into 2 into 3. In the late game you go crazy with those Death Rattles. You've got Call of the Wild, you have N'Zoth. Now, Stitch Tracker is a card I'm very interested in trying out. It just has value written all over it in terms of discovering a copy of a minion from your deck. So you could discover Sylvanas, Savannah Highmane, or even N'Zoth, which is insane. So we're going to look at 2 games. The first game is against a rogue, it didn't go very well. The second game is against a paladin, which went a lot better. So let's start off with the rogue game. Okay, keeping the huge toad seems sensible, it's a 2-drop. We'd like a 1-drop as well to go with it. I talked about, you know, curving out well, maintaining a board presence. Oh, patches. Well then, that's good for us. He clearly didn't get the value that he was looking for on patches by playing a pirate first and then getting patches out of the deck. So no swashbuckler in hand, clearly. That's interesting information to have, potentially. I asked for a 1-drop, and there it is, Zombie Chow. Now, there's a lot of people debating the value of Zombie Chow. Is it a good minion? Well, it's done some work in this game already. It's killed patches, and it's going to absorb 2 hits with his weapon. That's pretty good. So, we don't have a 3-drop, which is unfortunate. Oh look, there's a 3-drop. So I asked for a 1-drop, I got a 1-drop. I asked for a 3-drop, and it appeared. Wow. I should do this more often. I should call for cards more often, and then, you know, and then they'll just appear and we just win games. I did that in my pack opening video. I asked for legendaries, and then they just appeared. It was amazing. So the rogue is taking a bit of damage here, which is pretty good. But he's now got control of the board, so the SI7 agent there is very good for him. We're actually going to coin out Feugen here. Feugen has got 7 health, and it's going to be tough for him to take down. He's going to have to invest, probably in Eviscerate, if he wants to kill Feugen. Oh dear lord. Questing Adventurer. Now, you don't play questing like that. Unless... Yep, there it is. Unless you have Conceal. And yes, ladies and gents, this is wild mode. Conceal is a thing in wild mode. It exists. So we can't kill either of those minions on the board this turn. We just need to play something. We just want to get stuff on the board. And we're going to push some damage as well. So it's turning into a little bit of a race. What I'm happy about, though, is I have Hunter's Mark in my hand. I can kill his Questing Adventurer, provided we have something on the board that can trade into it. And he's going all face here. He's not even using Eviscerate on a minion. That is really interesting. And, yeah. Preparation. Buffing up the questing and into Conceal. Wow. He had both Conceals. Both Conceals. That's nuts. Very unfair, but we're not going to be salty about it because we still have the Hunter's Mark, right? We still have the Hunter's Mark, but we're nearly dead. So what we're going to do is we're going to play the Bear Trap here. Now, by playing Bear Trap, we should still be able to survive, potentially. I'm not going to play the Houndmaster because we may get a beast that we can taunt up. Now, Bear Trap, let's look at the order of attack here. He's going to attack with Thalnos, is sensible. Bear Trap is spawned, so now you use the SI agent. Yeah, makes sense. We're not dead yet. Oh, we are now. He had Cold Blood. We were about to stabilise there. I mean, it still would have been tough to win the game, but we had Hunter's Mark. We were about to stabilise, and maybe if we'd drawn Reno, we could have won. That's so unfortunate. But it was a close game, right? I mean, we did pretty well in that game. If he hadn't drawn the second Conceal, if he hadn't drawn the Cold Blood, we were still in it. We were still in that game. Anyway, Paladin. What kind of a Paladin is this likely to be? One of the Paladin deck types that has become very popular since the Frozen Throne expansion came out is Divine Shield Paladin. Paladin's got a new 1-drop with Taunt and Divine Shield, and I know people have been having a lot of fun with that on standard mode, but of course this is wild mode, so you can never truly predict or be sure of what you're facing. I mean, he's just played a secret, so this just could be Secret's Paladin. Oh no, draw Divine Shield minion. Okay, it is Divine Shield Paladin with secrets. Interesting. So we test for Get Down here, and it's not Get Down, which is, by the way, the reason why I played the Grandmother and not the Scientist, because if it was Get Down, then, or Noble Sacrifice, then at least we get a 3/2 Beast out of it, maintaining our board presence. That's why I didn't play the Scientist, because it just would have died. Yeah, it would have got a secret up, but no minion on board. Okay, so what do we do here? If that's secret, if that's not Noble Sacrifice, then it is more than likely Avenge. And it is. Okay. Avenge is, of course, a wild mode only card. It's very powerful. But Hunter's Mark actually coming to our rescue there and doing some good work for us. So now we have the board. We have 3 minions on board. He has nothing on the board. We have tempo. We have board. We're happy. And yes, there's the card that I was talking about. Divine Shield, Taunt. It's pretty good. And Steward of Darkshire. We need to kill the Steward. That cannot be allowed to live. Steward of Darkshire and Muster for Battle is insane. Into something like Quartermaster and you just lose the game. So, Sludge Belcher is pretty good.
Run away. Of course. Run away.
Okay, so 4 minions on the board and he has nothing. There's another Righteous Protector. Ooh, charge with Lifesteal. Oh, there's Feugen. And we have Stalagg in hand too. This is pretty good. So, we need to clear the board, obviously. We're actually going to get the secret out now. Better to get a secret out now with the Scientist than to end up drawing it into our hand from our deck. So yeah, just ensuring that we get value on the Scientist Death Rattle. And we play Feugen. It has 7 health, it has 4 attack. I like those stats. I think those stats are decent. It trades very well into things. Of course, it didn't help us in the last game against the Rogue. I mean, he used his Conceals and his Questing Adventurer to kill us. Okay. I'm going to take a gamble here. I'm going to leave the Divine Shield minion up. What's the worst that could happen? The worst that could happen is he plays Spike Ridge Steed. But he still can't kill the Belcher if he does that. Okay, another Steward. I may just prioritise here on killing the Steward. Oop. Need to put my phone on silent. That's not helpful. I mean, leaving Silverhand recruits on board is dangerous too. But we'll gamble again, and we'll see what he's got. I made the trades that I made because I want to keep the Belcher at 5 health. Just want to keep it healthy. There's Tyrion, putting our faith in his light, but I have a good response. A really good response. Okay, time for Thaddius. And I'd say this is game over. I mean, this plays into Equality Consecration, which could be a problem, obviously. So we're just going to assume he doesn't have it. I mean, even if he did have it, we'd hopefully draw into something like Enzoth or the Hunter Death Knight. I mean, we've still got a lot of value left. Oh my god, Blood Knight! I can see how his deck, with all of those Divine Shields and the Death Knight, I can see how his deck... sorry, the Blood Knight. Did I say Death Knight? The Blood Knight. I can see how his deck could steamroll an opponent very, very quickly. But we had the initiative and we had the board, and that was enough to get the win. Okay, so... Reno Hunter with Enzoth the Corruptor. Great deck. Works very well. But on the whole... there's one thing that concerns me, and that is card draw. The deck is lacking in card draw. I mean, okay, you've got cards like Mad Scientist that can get a secret out of your deck and into play, which thins your deck a little bit. Okay, so that's like drawing a card. You have King's Elec, which can be card draw if you win the joust. That doesn't always happen. We've got Stitch Tracker, which can draw you a card, I guess, but it's not like Reno Warlock. or even Reno Mage. I mean, Reno Mage has Arcane Intellect, the Primordial Glyph into Kabbalist Tome. I think the other Reno classes have more options when it comes to card draw, and I think that's one of the things that can let Hunter down, not having card draw. But other than that, the tempo that you can get from this deck though can be insane. And even if you play an early sort of an early barrage of minions on the board, and even if they die, you can move very nicely into the late game with your Deathstalker Rexar hero power with the zombie beast, which we didn't get a chance to look at, but I have played it. It's very good. And of course Enzoth the Corruptor. So you can still recover in the late game with zombie beasts and with resurrecting Death Rattle minions. So give the deck a try. There are different versions of the deck that are being played, and that's the thing about Reno decks. It is hard to decipher which cards to put in, and you make small changes, you swap cards in, you swap cards out, you see what effect they have. It's quite a rigorous testing process that is needed, but over the next couple of weeks I'm sure that we'll see people start to refine this deck down. But there is certainly a renewed interest in Reno Hunter. There are more decks appearing anyway. So yeah, give it a try, and if you've got the cards, tell me what you think. So if you enjoyed the video, please subscribe, and I'll see you all again very soon for more Wild Mode action.